you know there's a state-of-the-art energy system that boosts performance and reduces muscle fatigue and beats the pain barrier, isn't banned and has no side effects?
The trouble is, so did the competition. I can feel the difference. Improve your performance, use Ergomax C150.
Ergomax C150. For more information ring 0535 667 088.
Keighley's 8, yeah.
Good afternoon then, and welcome to Mount Pleasant Batley for this fourth round of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup. Standing as usual right next to the timekeeper. Give you the teams very quickly. Keighley first, Jeff Butterfield full back, number 2 Wayne Race, 3 Nick Pinkney, 4 Mark Milner, 5 John Walker, 6 Martin Wood, 7 is Andy Ayres, Ian Gately is at number 8, Jason Ramshaw 9, Steve Hall is 10, Phil Stevenson 11, Kevin Moore 12 and Mark Buckhowden at 13. The substitutes for Keighley, Carlton Farrell and Joe Burry. And for Batley this afternoon, full-back Simon Wilson, the 3/4 Gary Thornton, Darren Moxham, Jivy Irvine and Jeremy Dyson, Mike Booth and Mark Cass, Tomlinson, the regular scrum half, out through injury, Jeff Gresham, Mark Scott, Andy Mark Parkinson, Graham Middleton, Tony Walton and Mike Carron making up the forwards. And the substitutes for Batley, number 14 Darren Child and 15 Richard Brook. The referee this afternoon, Mr Dave Carter from Widnes, and it looks as though Keighley have won the toss. They've elected to play up the hill in the first half. There's a fairly strong wind blowing as Mr Carter gets the game underway. Deep kick into the Keighley try-line area. Kevin Marr opting to leave that for Jeff Butterfield, but the ball taking a very cruel bounce there, and in fact it's going to be a drop out underneath those Keighley posts, and Martin Wood has got the job of kicking into, I believe, what seems to be a fairly strong wind. Always difficult to tell in the stand here at Batley. The wind swirling as it tends to do on the top of this Mount Pleasant slope hill. Good tackling there by Keighley, driving Graham Middleton, the number 11 for Batley, backwards. And Batley now giving the ball to the number 2 Thornton, with the thankless task of trying to drive through the Keighley forwards. And a half tackle almost allowing Andy Parkinson through the gap there as the hooker Scott gets the play away. And in fact Mr Carter immediately penalising Keighley for a high tackle. But we wait to see, because he's going to pull a Keighley player out as well. But the penalty being given, and this is going to give Jeremy Dyson the opportunity of getting some points on the board as early as the second minute for Batley. And the field, Darryl, considering the amount of rain that we've had, looking in remarkably good condition.
Yes, John, it looks in excellent condition. Also considering there was a game of football on here yesterday. They've rolled it well, obviously, and it's going to cut up, you know, it's going to get heavy up the middle, but it's looking better than we thought it would do.
And presumably that's the thinking behind playing up the hill in the first half. If the ground does cut up in this bottom quarter, then it will be Batley who are having to drive their way out of it in the second half. In the meantime, Dyson slots the 2 across, gives Batley the early lead with those 2 penalty points. So then Martin Wood, for the first time having the ball in his hands. Restarts for Keighley. Punches the ball low, back up to the 20-metre line. Recovered there by Mike Cameron for the Batley defence. And this is centre Moxon. Big fella, the veteran prop, Jeff Gratian, looking to get to the halfway line, but well met there by the number 10, Steve Hall, and cries of a forward pass coming from the crowd here in the stand. Cass looks for a hole, but wrapped up on that 10-metre line inside the Keighley half of the field, steals a couple of yards as he goes, and it's a punch kick through there by Booth. Straight into the arms of Johnny Walker. Walker not having any supporting players back with him, but does well to get the extra yards as Milner now looks for the hole. But again, running into the two big front rowers there of Gratian and Parkinson for Batley. And it's a big fella Keighley driving up this hill, a good 4 or 5 metres further gained. And in fact, a penalty against Batley there for one round the head, in fact rubbing in the face, says Mr. Carter. And so it's Martin Wood with a penalty relieving kick, but you can see the way the wind got hold of that ball as it went out of the ground. Quite a strong wind blowing down this hill. And that again looked a bit high. The referee penalising straight out. Jeff Gratian, the man being pulled out. No, in fact it isn't. It's the hooker, Mark Scott. Straight out the first tackle. Batley straight in there, round the prohibitive area. So we'll be looking for Martin Wood to put this ball safely into touch once more. Gains a good 10 metres there as he does so. Punching that ball low this time, and it's Jason Ramshaw, waits for Wayne Race to get the ball back to him. Stevenson takes the first drive in. Andy Ayres telling his colleagues where he expects the man to be, and that's where he told Kevin Marr to be, and that's where Kevin Marr was. 30 metres out now from the Batley line as Ayres brings on Keighley. Keighley spins in that first tackle. Pushed down to the ground again, but it's Ramshaw onto Ayres, brings on Martin Wood. Wood feeds Stevenson. Stevenson still going. The crowd here, certainly a lot of Keighley supporters here this afternoon. Batley well offside there as Mars fed it home. Looks to offload, in fact he does, but the ball bobbles and Batley regather. But certainly Mr. Carter not looking at that 10 metres there, Daryl.
No, John, they were outside of him, 2 or 3 yards in front of him there. You should have seen that under the sticks.
Batley then looking to now regather themselves and drive back down this Mount Pleasant slope. Tony Walton brought to ground there as winger Thornton in at acting half. Play switch there by the hooker Scott. Referee Carter shakes his head, says no, there was nothing wrong with that one, as the ball goes back there to the fullback Simon Wilson. Straight down his opposite number's throat as Butterfield takes that ball on the full and gets almost back to the halfway line. It's Mick Pinkney looking for the hole, going on his own from acting half back. Ramshaw now as the play settles down for Keighley. Stevie Hall driving in. Another good 5 or 6 metres gained up this hill. As Ramshaw now brings on Mark Cowden. Just inside the Batley 30-metre area as Ramshaw switches play back inside now onto Ayres, brings on Wood. Wood finds Milner. Milner's in the loose. Milner's going at the far line, but there's nobody to hand the ball on. Yes, there is. We're racing at the corner. A tremendous breakthrough there, Darrell, by Mark Milner. He saw the gap and he used his yards and space to go for it, didn't he?
Yeah, he's down injured unfortunately. Excellent try there. What also caught my eye was that Nick Pinkney tried to back him up and they were being pulled back by Batley players, you know. Referee's got to keep his eyes on this. Once Milner and Pinkney get clear, there's not many people who've got the pace to catch him, so hopefully want them both going through and they can back each other up.
Yeah, certainly the thing is that as far as Batley are concerned, they know that the danger men for speed-wise are Milner and Pinkney, and if they're hindering them in any way getting to the ball or supporting the man with the ball, Mr. Carter's got to keep his eyes firmly on it. As it was Wayne Race who finished off that move. 8 minutes on the clock, and a perfect reply back up the hill for Keighley to that early penalty they conceded in the second minute. And Milner's still receiving treatment over there as he'd offloaded that ball. In fact, Carlton Farrell just warming up on this touchline side. I know that Mark's been suffering with a groin strain over the past couple of weeks. And the last thing from a Keighley point of view that we want to see is him having to take an early exit from the field of play. Referee Carter though now come away from the player, deciding that he's going to allow the conversion attempt to go ahead. And it's a very difficult conversion attempt for John Walker. It's on the wrong side of the field for the right-footed kicker, and it's into the teeth of a fairly strong wind as well. The odds are against him. And the crowd at the far side there just giving Mark Milner a round of applause for his work in that try, and more to the point for the fact that he's recovered from the injury. That ball not getting off the ground, but the way things are with the strong wind, the only way that you're going to convert, I would think, without the wind taking effect, is the low punch ball. John obviously trying to do that. Just noticeable, Daddle, though, whilst that pause in play was taking place, the Keighley players actually holding their arms around themselves. Obviously a very, very strong chill factor in this wind blowing at them.
There is, John. I can feel it up here in stand. What they're like down there now, like you say, the game 8 minutes old, then we have a stoppage for a minute and a half. Have we had? In fact, just short of 2 minutes there. Standing about for 2 minutes out there. It's not good for the players, you know. They want to keep playing.
Batley then restarting. No offside behind the referee. As Ayers pulled up there for a knock-on, and it certainly was. Very indecisive there of Andy Ayers, trying to take that ball. Couldn't make his mind up whether to use his feet, use his hands, or whatever. In the end, he paid the price. He knocked the ball on. Mr. Carter saw it. Scrum then to Batley. Bindside's wide open there as Castley. That really was a heaven-sent opportunity for Batley to have scored. The wingman on the far side, Thornton, unable to take that ball. Lets Keighley off. Wayne Race doing the business and pouncing on it and lifting Keighley out of what could have been a potential 4 points against them. All then onto Ramshaw. Ramshaw brings on Gately, taken well round the throat there. The same guy was penalised earlier, Mike Booth, for the high tackle. And I think Steve Hall being certainly sorted out for additional treatment. The referee threatening to go for the pocket as he pulls out Mark Scott for the second time. But he's just talking to him. I think he was just perhaps giving the crowd a bit of a thought that he might be going to give him 10 minutes in the bin. But you can't give 10 minutes in the bin for a high tackle. But judging by the referee's signals, it was a swinging arm and not a high tackle. As Gately now comes in. And there the man Scott again. Referee Carter's going to have to get a hold of this guy, isn't he, Darrell? That's 3 tackles on the trot that he's gone round the prohibited area.
Certainly is, John, yeah. He seems to like going high, going in second, third man up round the top. Hey, we've got a sub, Mark Milner coming off, Carlton going on.
Yes, in fact, I think Keighley probably taking the precaution of bringing Mark off just to get that groin strain, which I'm sure it is, a bit of extra protection. Carlton Farrell coming on to take the place of Mark Milner. That's not good news as far as Keighley are concerned. It can only be good news from Batley's point of view. Hitting the gap over there, the far side to Irvine. Irvine, as usual, just decided to take the referee's job into his own hands. We've seen that before with him, Darrell.
Yeah, he does it a lot, John, you know. Mr. Carter don't sort it out, he'll sort it out with Irving.
In the meantime, a readjustment there by Tony Walton, still allowing him to keep the Batley move in force. Jeff Gratian playing the ball on the Keighley 20, and there goes Scott looking to offload as he goes, but Jason Ramshaw, his opposite number, does the tackling. It's the last one, says Mr. Carter, as the ball moves out. They've got the numbers over the far side. Irvine throws the ball backwards. It's the loose forward Cameron kicking the ball forward on the last tackle. Keighley doing well to regather that in the shape of Jason Ramshaw. Stevenson getting away from the first attempted tackle, and pretty poor attempts they were at that, but nonetheless brought down by the experienced campaigner Gratian. Ramshaw switches play to Gately. Gately again busts his way through, but Middleton, the man at the end of that one, quick play the ball there. Mark Brook-Cowden coming up, gets through that 10 metres short of the halfway line, but Mr. Carter's got his hand in the air for the last tackle, and it's going to Wood. Martin Wood pumps that ball deep upfield, bounces awkwardly for Wilson, but he eventually gets it. Referee Carter, I didn't see him wave play on. He's not wave play on. That's a bad mistake by the referee. He should wave play on once the 10 has been allowed to be progressed by the fullback. He didn't do it. It doesn't help the players, and that's a bad mark against the referee. Oh, and that's a bad mark against Keighley, against the Batley player there, as I think he had the eyes on the Keighley players approaching him. And I think it's winger Jeremy Dyson. He'll not be too pleased with that at all. Martin Wood then, from the resulting scrum there, gets the ball away to Pinkney. Pinkney gets up and plays the ball as Kevin Marr offloads there to Ramshaw, on to Stevenson. Stevenson tucks the ball under his arm and goes forward inside that Batley 20-metre area now, as Ramshaw calls the shots, brings on Steve Hall. Hall runs at the defence. He's still going, his Hall. He's on the 10-metre, inside the 10-metre line. He's in the Bradford Park Avenue penalty area as Mark Brook-Cowden takes the ball in. Ramshaw out to the right to Ayres. Ayres looks for the supporting Wood, finds him, brings on Butterfield, back to Woods. Martin Wood brought down, and it's the last tackle again. Are we set up for a drop goal? We are indeed, as Jason Ramshaw pops it over the top, gives Keighley the extra point. Inside the 20, came away with a point, Darrell. That's good play.
That's good play, like you said, John, yeah. Up the hill, against the wind. Every time you go up there, if you pinch your point, that's all we can ask for.
A quick kick-off, quick restart there by Batley, almost catching Keighley unawares. Wayne Race, in fact, alert enough to get back there and stop the ball going dead and retain possession for his side. Stevenson back to the 20-metre line. Kevin Marr taking that ball in once more, but only as far as the 20-metre line. Gets up, plays the ball to Ramshaw. Ramshaw on to Gately. Gately offers the ball to his right, but takes it in. In my words, that's the quickest five I've come across. As Martin Wood, again, you can see the wind taking effect on that as Wilson regathers. Does well, in fact, to regather the way that ball was swirling in the air. Up and plays the ball. Keighley certainly taking advantage of Mr. Carter's known laxity on the inability to retain this 10-metre line at play the ball. Moxon tackled in possession there, but the ball moving out to the full-back on the far side, through onto the centre. Irvine out to Thornton, to Dyson on that far touchline side. Tony Walton caught in possession there, wrapped up by the Keighley defenders. Last one comes up, says the referee. The standoff goes to kick. Has to feign, but a brilliant take there by John Walker. He knew that was his ball and nobody else was going to get it. Carlton Powell hands off the woeful attempt there of Mike Booth to tackle him. Gets tackled though on this touchline side, and it's Butterfield going from acting half. Tackled by Moxon and Middleton, 30 metres out from his own line. Ayres finds Steve Hall, but the big fella well met in the centre of the park there by the loose forward Cameron for Batley. And it's Ramshaw finding Gately this time. Gately drives in, looks to offload, manages to hold on to the possession. It's the last one again as Martin Wood once more pumps this ball upfield for wingman Thornton there. This time the referee waving on and plays some 8 metres inside the Batley half of the field as Dyson gets that ball from acting half, decides to go on his own. And Scott feeding the ball out there to his blindside prop, Parkinson. 10 metres inside the Keighley half. Looked a bit forward, did that run round with Gratian and the scrum half Cass. Referee allowing things to go on, and hooker Scott there caught once more in possession on the last tackle. Irvine kicking that ball through. Is it going to go inside the touchline? It does, just inside the corner flag. So we've got a 10 metre scrum with the advantage of the head and feed to Keighley. Kevin Moore then feeding the ball out from that play, the ball to loose forward Mark McCowden, taking play across the field as Moore this time straightens things out, all the time on the lookout to offload to the supporting player. Gately now driving up towards that halfway line. He's held 12 metres short. Ramshaw this time brings on Ayres. Ayres fetches on the number 10 for Keighley Hall, but well met there 3 times in fact as the last tackle comes up just 10 metres inside the opposition half for Keighley, and again it's the boot of Martin Wood and the wind taking effect on that ball, and really the Batley player there doing well to regather that ball after it bounced awkwardly for wingman Jeremy Dyson. Irvine now looking through, loses the ball, the referee allowing play to go on. He said in fact it hit a Keighley hand. I didn't see it hit a Keighley hand, I couldn't see it for the camera, but it would appear it was kicked by a Keighley player. Nonetheless it went back to 1, so it's Batley still in possession. Scott decides to come on this short side, but tackled to the ground there, gets up and plays it through the hands of Gratian onto Cass and out there to the far side, and Irvine making an absolute breakfast of that. No pressure at all, but I think possibly the wind having an effect, Darryl.
Yeah, the wind, we're taking the ball away from all the time. They weren't really running fast enough to get to the ball. Wind beating.
5 metres then that scrum will form from the halfway line. Keighley head and feet following that Irvine knock on, and the defensive line behind that pack nowhere near 5 metres. The touch judges decided to take the flags down, and immediately the Batley defensive line moved forward. Ayres brings on Mark Brook-Cowden. Nice ball out to the far side to Pinkney, but Pinkney wrestled to the ground there just inside the Batley half of the field. Wainwright going on his own this time. Again the second tackle around the head area, and Mr Carter's not interested, and there goes the big fella Gately. 10 metres drive there, and something seen at the far side, but neither the touch judge nor the referee saw. The crowd saw something. Martin Wood puts a nice ball through there. The fullback knocks on. In fact, it's all back to Keighley. No, it isn't. Keighley lose possession. They regained it from the fullback's mistake, and a knock on allowed Graham Middleton to regather for Batley. But Keighley certainly putting some pressure on Batley when they take play up into that half of the field. We've had 23 minutes of this first half so far. We've got 5 points to 2 in Keighley's favour on the scoreboard. And certainly I would think possibly even 5-2 on the terraces as far as the spectators are concerned. Gratian managing to offload that ball out to Moxon. Moxon releases the ball to the touchline to the winger, but well tackled there by his opposite winger John Walker, and that's a nice ball out there from Cass, but tackled well was Andy Parkinson by Martin Wood. And in fact, referee Carter penalising Martin Wood for not releasing the Batley player in the tackle, and so it's a penalty. It's a welcome relieving penalty for Batley, who've been under a certain amount of pressure in the last 2 or 3 minutes from the Keighley attack. Booth puts that ball safely into touch, 5 metres inside the Keighley half, as Scott gets the ball to restart. Brings on Parkinson, he drives in. Well met there though by Kevin Moore, some 12 metres or so inside the Batley half of the field. Cass dummies the ball, eventually finishing up in the arms of Graham Middleton, but to no avail as a second row brought to ground by the Keighley second row players. Almost half break there by Batley, almost finding the Keighley defences. A nice ball out again there by Gratian into the hands of Irvine. Irvine struggling to get up as the ball comes out. There's plenty of players over this side. Fullback Wilson there in. Bad tackling really by Keighley. There were 2 of them there as Simon Wilson struggled his way through the tackling. It was poor tackling really eventually. I think they were probably more looking at the man offloading the ball and getting it out to the uncovered wing, Mandel.
Yeah, I think they were, John, but they should have taken the man. Always take the man with the ball. If he passes, but always take him out first.
Simon Wilson then with that try on the 25th minute, just giving Batley the edge with the extra point. 6 points to 5 there in the lead at the moment, with Dyson has the wide out opportunity of the conversion and setting the ball on the top of a mountain of sand on this near touchline side. And most of that, a lot of the credit for that try comes back to Gratian slipping the ball in the centre of the park there, after it appeared that the move had probably broken down on the far side. Dyson with the peculiar run, but it looks good. It is good. There's certainly an unusual approach to the ball there by Jeremy Dyson in a corkscrew type run up, but nonetheless it proved successful, and that gives Batley a 3-point cushion. Cass getting that ball out there to Middleton, but Middleton met by the approaching arms of Steve Hall. And again the drive coming through the centre. This time it's Tony Walton, the number 12 for Batley, taking play almost 10 metres short of the halfway line. Parkinson doing the extra work for Batley there. 3 or 4 from the halfway line. This play now comes across the centre of the park through the hands of Cass onto Gratian, the big fella, wrestled to the ground there just inside the Keighley half of the field. And here comes a kick, but that one could well go straight into touch. Skewed off the side of the boot. And I don't really think the Batley forwards particularly will be grateful of that attempted push down the field, going off the side of the colleague's boot. As it is, it's a scrum down just inside the Keighley half of the field. Ayres comes down, referee Carter almost getting in the way there, but manages to get out of the way eventually. And a very short 10 there as Mr. Carter not able to take them back. He's waving them back, but he's not taking them back on this near side. And Stevenson, and in fact it looks now as though somebody's going to do something. The referee's going for his pocket. He's spoken to the hooker 3 times. The red card came out, but how can you sin bin somebody for a high tackle? It is not in the book. Mr. Carter cannot do that. He has not signalled why he's done it. A high tackle, Darrell, is a red card, not a yellow card. Mr. Carter is desperately wrong.
Well, I'll wait and see just what he does signal, John. You're correct in what you say. You know, it's either bollocking or bath for a high tackle.
Well, we certainly know that from past experience Mr. Carter is very lenient on the head tackles, and he has not signalled the reason for the penalty. Again, a bad mark against this referee, but certainly a high tackle is a red card, not a yellow card. And I'm sure then he's got the task now of organising the forces. Ramshaw driving in. Keighley driving in. Ramshaw acting half-back now for Ayres, finds Stevenson. Stevenson inside that 20-metre area of Batley. Ramshaw pointing to the right, but play switching to the left. Long ball out to Carlton Farrell. Bounces off Moxham. Going through the centre of the field is Farrell, but wrestled to the ground some 12 or 15 metres from the line. As Ayres now out to Ramshaw. Ramshaw finds Steve Hall, but I thought for a minute the ball going loose there, but Hall managing to cling on to it as Ayres now, they've got the numbers at the far side of Keighley. Ayres goes, but he's brought down there. They certainly seem to have the numbers over there, but Andy Ayres opting to hang on to the possession. And it's Martin Wood, chips the ball through for the chase through, and it's assisted dead by Simon Wilson, the fullback, as Martin Wood followed that through, but a good set of 6 there for Darrell. Steady the ball, picks up and gets some 14 or 15 metres inside. Hall taken round the top again. Mr. Carter totally ignoring it. And I wonder really who he's going to penalise. He's penalising Batley. But really, Darrell, if this referee doesn't get hold of these head tackles sooner or later, this game could erupt, couldn't it?
Certainly could, John. Yeah, he's letting too many go now. The players are getting involved. It's penalising for punching. If it's round the head, it's a head tackle. It should indicate a head tackle. If you punch round the head, it's round the head.
I think in all honesty, he was quite happy with the high tackle on Steve Hall. It was what went on afterwards, apparently. But I've got to say that he has a man with a yellow flag on the far side who's giving him no assistance whatsoever as Stevenson drives into the Batley 10-metre area. Ramshaw onto Ayres. Ayres sets the gap. Ayres goes. Oh, and Andy Ayres, but he pops the ball up, but he's penalised Andy Ayres. He said he was tackled, Darrell. He was on his back, and certainly you can't do what Andy did.
Yeah, good decision there. Mr. Carter's actually made a good decision. All right, scored against Keighley, but Andy were down on the deck when he passed.
So from that relieving penalty, it goes out to the 20-metre line of Batley for the restart. Batley 3 points to the good, but with only 7.5 minutes on the clock of this first half remaining, the 3 points may not be sufficient that they require to face the wind and the hill in the second half. We have to wait and see for that, because quite often teams do play far better up the hill than they do down. As is being indicated by Keighley at the moment. Moxon there caught in no man's land and being driven back towards his own try line. Referee eventually happy that the motion has stopped and he can't do any more, and Batley having to rely on the boot of Irvine, but he only finds the arms of Wayne Race. Wayne Race taking the ball well, skipping through, but being brought down to the ground just inside the Batley half of the field. Kevin Marr stepping off one foot, going off the other. 10 metres inside the Batley half of the field. Ayres finds Wood. Wood skips to his left, avoids the tackle, back, finds Andy Ayres with a flat pass, which we have been told, Adel, is not a forward pass.
It looked forward to me, John.
I think the touch judge on this near side needs to be told that the it's 5 metres from the back of the scrum, not 10 metres, as he's obviously got this defensive line. Out then to Batley. 7 or 8 metres from the halfway line as the standoff Mike Booth gets up and plays the ball onto Moxham. Moxham searches and turns and twists to try to get away from the tackles just short of the halfway line, but brought to ground as Cass gets the ball out there over to Middleton, and Middleton herded across there by an absolute posse of Keighley defenders. In fact, we had Kevin Marr taking out Steve Hall just to make sure that he didn't get away. Cass then on to Booth. Booth finds Gratian, but Gratian brought down to the deck. It's the last tackle coming up. It's 10 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. And Cass puts the ball down. And in fact, Jeff Butterfield decided to let that ball go dead. Quite wisely so. And we finish up now then with a tap restart on the 20 metre line. Keighley taking the ball from Ramshaw. The ball offloaded. In fact, it's regathered. Now, I would have said that was possibly a knock-on, but the referee, in fact, just momentarily waved the tackle count back to 1. And I would have thought, really, Batley had no opportunity of taking full advantage of that knock-on, Darrell, and probably were penalised because of it.
No, John, I think what happened there, Ian Gately would try to pass. Batley player intercepted, knocked it to the ground, knocked it forward, so it was a knock-on to Batley. Batley actually knocked on. Keighley regathered, so it's play on. Back to 1.
Fair enough then, but what we see now is Martin Wood getting within 10 metres of that halfway line. Kevin Marr threatening to offload. Andy Ayres eventually gets the ball, but Moxham, almost committed to the initial dummy, takes the man on the first as Ramshaw applies the boot to Tess Wilson. Wilson, though, takes the ball. Strangely enough, opting to face the sun, which has just come out, and getting away from those tackles. And Mark Brooke-Cowden doing well to stop him, but really Simon Wilson should never have been allowed to get those 25 metres that he actually did. Parkinson driving through the centre but loses the ball. Loses the ball some 5 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. And I think, Darrell, at the moment, Batley really being possibly their own worst enemies. They're putting balls down in quite key positions, aren't they?
Certainly are, John. Yeah, they're getting Keighley defence running backwards, and then they knock it on. Silly decisions like that. This touch judge at this side is now taking Batley back a good 10.
Martin Wood then getting the ball out. Carlton Farrell, but upended as he approaches the halfway line. Wood once more switches play to the short side. Kevin Marr dummies, goes forward, dummied the ball out there to John Walker, took on the defence. The defence almost took the dummy, not quite, as Ramshaw now gets on Steve Hall. Hall drives up the hill, 30 metres out from the Batley line. And some 2.5 minutes of running time as Andy Ayres gets that ball. It would be nice for Keighley if in fact we could get another try before half time, as Ramshaw gets the ball out to Wood. Wood chips that ball forward for the chase. In fact, the ball going into touch. It had to be assisted into touch there by the wingman on the far side. A good chip there through by Martin Wood, and an excellent chase by Keighley, Darrell.
Excellent, John, that's what you mean. Put players under pressure. Batley had no option there but to take the ball over the touchline. Keighley's head and ball. We should win this scrum. 6 tackles. How long have we got left, John, to half time?
Just less than 2 minutes on the actual clock as the ball, well, if that's all the scrum, I've never seen a scrum as Pinckney now in the centre of the field. Batley just lying on until the defence can reform. Martin Wood taking the option of going up that short side away from where the Keighley players were stacked. And it's Wayne Race now taking the play in. Oh, skipping through the defence, Wayne Race. Wayne Race, is he in? No, he must be only 6 inches short. He can't be any further. That's got to be a penalty. There's got to be 2 points taken here for Keighley, I would suspect. Being pushed away from the play of the ball there was Wayne Race, and it certainly looks as though John Walker's going to be called up to try to put the 2 on the board and allow Keighley to go in, well, at the moment anyway, with just the 1 point deficit. A tremendous run there, Daryl, by Wayne Race, coming in field, very determined, shrugged off those tacklers just as though they didn't exist.
Yeah, just a typical Wayne Race run, John. Yeah, he knocks the first man off and he dumps and dives and ducks and weaves, finds the gaps out there. Excellent run.
The referee just telling those Batley players to make their way back to where he says they should be. The ball falling over and Jason Ramshaw being called in to hold it. Eventually Johnny Walker gets the ball set up.
Just an indication of the strength of the wind. If you look at Martin Wood's hair, it's hanging straight out behind him.
And that ball going high through, and in fact the touch judge is waiting to see in fact what happened. Now I'll ask you, Darrell, because I'm sure that people won't know, had that ball gone through the post and then been blown back, what would have been the referee's decision?
Goal.
Once having passed through the sticks, it's a goal.
He was so strong they actually passed through the post near the top but fell inside the in-goal area. He didn't even go dead. It was so strong was the wind, so the ball dropped down from 30 metres up, well, 20 metres up into nothing.
That ball going back there. Fortunately, I think for Keighley, Mr. Carter agreeing, and I think we might have seen other referees given a knock on under similar circumstances. Good breakaway there, taking play away from his own post was Phil Stevenson. And the big fella Ian Gately going up that touchline side, almost to the 20-metre line. We're well into stoppage time now in this first half. Minute and a half of stoppage time already gone. And just glancing sideways at the timekeepers, indicating there's a full minute left as Keighley really spilled that ball across, and not a good kick up there by Kevin Marr. Needs to do the tackling on. It's a nice ball out by Wilson, but equally well tackled into touch there by Keighley. Darren Moxon complaining that it was round the head. But certainly a comprehensive tackle into touch. Difficult to see. There's a massive great upright in front of our eyes here. And in fact, the touch judge responding to Darren Moxon's complaints, I think.
Half a minute, Dave. Half a minute.
And in fact, the penalty was on the touchline side, Darrell. The head-high tackle, if that's what it was on the touchline side. No way was it 10 metres in.
I think he's given it, John, for the tackle over the touchline, which means it's out the field of play, which meant he goes inside 10 metres. Correct decision.
OK, so the penalty taking place there. We know now that there's only 30 seconds left. The clock's still running, so Batley having to make the best of this opportunity to extend their 1 point lead. We've seen Jeremy Dyson convert the Wilson try from a similar position, a little bit closer, a little bit further out in fact, so the ability of this goal kicker is sufficient to Referee just stops the clock, but there's no point in stopping it. The time is already up. But of course, the penalty having been awarded is allowed to be taken. So the corkscrew run as the wingman prepares. And that's going wide, but come on then. Oh, the referee eventually blowing, but Del, I mean, once that ball had gone into the in-goal area, I know play doesn't stop until the tackle's taken, but surely the time should be indicated first. I know it's academic. But
Yeah, it's academic, John, yeah. They're better off waiting till the tackle, and as the tackle's been made, blow the horn. And that way everybody knows it's finished.
nonetheless, then, the half-time score, a good one as far as Keighley are concerned. Batley 8, Keighley 7. Second half about to start then as the break taking place. The mandatory 10 minutes as Keighley restart and get the ball way down into Batley territory. The man in possession managing only to take play across towards the front of his own post. And I think really, Darryl, this second half from Keighley's point of view, I would hope is a matter of patience more than anything else.
Yeah, it certainly is, John. Way Batley down, it's going to be hard for Batley to come up this hill. Keighley have only got to get one score to get the nose in front or get level. Even a draw would suit them really, but they should win now. They should, like you say, wear them down, keep them going at them, and the points will come.
Yeah, just a little bit of a hint of a forward pass there. The last tackle comes up. Wilson just managing to get the ball away there from Ian Gately. Puts the ball in there, but I think it's there playing for everybody to see the effect that the wind had on that ball. So much so that the advancing Batley players had in fact to go down and retreat rather, in order not to have been offside. Ayres feeds that scrum out the back then across to Martin Wood. Wood brings on the fullback Butterfield. Butterfield tackled by the standoff Mike Booth. In fact, Jim Irvine rather, as Mark Brook Cowden inside the 30. Wayne Race going on his own from acting half, dodging away, weaving his way through, taken down 20 metres out, right in front of the Batley post. Ramshaw out there to the rampaging Gately. Gately's going. Oh, Gately's going to score. Oh, what a run there from Ian Gately. He saw the gap, he busts the tackle, he went for it. 4 points.
Yeah, Batley's backpedaling here. Wayne Race set that up there with an excellent run in the middle of the park. Yeah, Batley backpedaling, a quick play the ball, up played it, ball out, and there with Ian Gately, like you said, let a rampaging ball. Batley had no heart to tackle him there.
Ian Gately then getting that just 2 minutes into the second half. Ian Gately gets the 4 points on the board and puts Keighley into the lead for the first time in this game. No, not the first time, beg your pardon. Regain the lead. Big cheer there going up because in fact a Keighley supporter having won the £200 in the Batley half-time draw. John Walker though, more eyes on those posts and ears on the tannoy. He's certainly given it a good try, but it's drifted across the post. Nonetheless, that puts Keighley back into the lead. Batley then restarts as the floodlights come on and Simon Wilson puts that ball high in the air. A good chase there by Batley, but round the neck there by Irvine, I have to say, as he tackled Martin Wood. 3 minute the marker there, Mr. Carter ignoring it as Stevenson busts through. Phil Stevenson had a tremendous game this afternoon as Carlton Farrell gets the ball out there, just delayed the pass that little bit too long, and in fact it could well have been forward anyway. But a tremendous bust there by Phil Stevenson, Darrell.
Excellent bust, John. And then he went looking for the support, did the correct thing, he knew there was nobody with him, went out wide and finding Carlton.
Is this a sign of things to come this half from Keighley's point of view? Moxon then looking for his way through that gap in the Keighley defence, unable to find it, tackled some 12 metres from the halfway line. Out there to Cass as number 10 Parkinson manages to release the ball in the tackle, but Cass tackled just short of the halfway line, bringing the ball across there to Booth. Booth feeds the ball out this side. Wilson once more, but this man Wilson is the danger man as far as Keighley are concerned. And I think the referee, I'm not sure there, he's penalising Wayne Race, but I think the Keighley players claiming there that the Batley player kicked Wayne Race.
Yeah, they did, John. They kicked him and then he stumbled. You know, bit of a bad decision there. He should have let play go on.
Nonetheless, it's Batley who've got the ascendancy now then. Scott, the man who's already had 10 minutes in the bin, taking that restart tap. Parkinson settling for the tackle just inside the 20 as the ball goes across to Cass. He brings it back to Middleton, taking play back inside. Scott indicating to the right, sure as eggs are eggs, the ball comes left. Gratian finds, Gratian going on the dummy, and that was a bad play of the ball, and Batley lucky to get away with that one. Lucky insofar as Keighley not being able to capitalise on it, that is, because there was nothing wrong with the way the ball was played, and that's got to be an obstruction attempt there, an accidental obstruction nonetheless, but that's what it was. The number 10 Parkinson certainly getting in the way of the Keighley tacklers. Booth kicks that ball. In fact, it's well, I thought that struck a Keighley player, Darrell, but it was a lot further away than the referee.
Certainly did strike a Keighley player, John, but the ball played the man, not the man playing the ball, so it doesn't count. Good decision there by the referee.
Ramshaw then coming through the hole in the centre as he steps, and it's Mark Brooke-Cowden taking play on 10 metres just over from the halfway line. The lights are on here at Mount Pleasant as Brooke-Cowden gets the ball away, out through the hands of Andy Ayres, onto Martin Wood. John Walker having to reach for that ball, and the kick and the chase is on. It's a good kick, it's good thinking. The man leading the chase is Gately, and the man getting the man is Gately. Fullback Simon Wilson doing well to take that ball, eventually gets up and plays it. And Batley taking that ball into the centre of the park. And remarkably, this field not cut up as we thought it might have done. Obviously the groundsman done a good job here, and Gratian having really to reach for that ball, doing well to offload, but equally well was that tackle by Keighley. That man Stevenson in it again. The wingman out this side, Dyson. Well policed there by Nick Pinkney. And it's Cass now as Wilson pushes that ball upfield. Jeff Butterfield, the Keighley fullback, he's there to regain possession. Just happily takes the tackle as he attempts to get round Moxon on the far side. John Walker hands off Moxon, but runs straight into the arms of number 10 Parkinson. The oohs and the ahs come from the crowd as they thought the second man might well have just put the fist in, but Kevin Marr taken there by Moxon once more, and it's Carlton Farrell this time. Ayres onto Martin Wood. Martin Wood steps, looks for the hole. Mark Brooke-Cowden, oh, he had Nick Pinkney outside, but it's pulled back for a forward pass.
I just wish the referee had seen the forward passes that Batley getting away with on the half-back with Jeff Gration. They've had 3 or 4 now he's got away with.
Well, some folk can say we only have eyes for you. This referee obviously has only eyes for Jeff Gration. "10 metres from the halfway line then as Cass gets the ball away. This time it's number 12 Walton taking play up to the halfway line. Scott through the hands of Cass onto Middleton rather, over the far side of the field. Good Keighley tackling though. Scott goes from acting half again. Andy Parkinson 10 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. And it's Cass now getting the ball across. Nice ball out there. Irvine pulling the ball forward though. Definitely a knock-on. And ironical cheers coming from the crowd to say that at long last he's spotted one. A very interesting point there as Darrell.
Yeah, both touch judges are marking the defending side at the scrum. I mean, the one up this side should be doing Keighley, but they're both doing the defending side. I don't know why.
Well, certainly a strange thing happening there, because I always understood that one should take the defence and one should take the attack. Just another of the quirks of misunderstandings that everybody sees in the way in which officials run a game. Steve Hall driving the ball in. 35 metres out. Ramshaw onto Ayres. Ayres finds Stevenson. Stevenson steps back inside. Brought to ground 30 metres short of that Batley line. Play switch now and switch back inside to Mark Brook-Cowden. On there to Gately. Gately looking, searching for a hole. Always willing in support. And Ramshaw switching again to Ayres. Ayres chips over the top for the chase. Certainly 2 Keighley players taken out there, but the referee's not going to do anything about it. He's not going to give the try because it looked to have been bounced. But in fact, we wait to see what he's given. He's given a tap 20, but Andy Ayres was taken out round the throat, Darrell.
Yeah, I think he took a bit of a dive, but they didn't make connection around the head, so should have been a penalty.
Batley then survive another Cougar raid into their territory. Nick Pinkney just nursing a shoulder injury as he comes back up the field. And I think the Keighley defence now are aware of the fact that the man short on this side. Again Wilson offloading there well to Walton, but the second row tackled on the halfway line. Yeah, substitute warming up on this side for Keighley, Joe Burry, as Nick Pinkney still on that 20 metre line in the Batley half of the field. And quite brave defence there by Jeff Butterfield, not able to get to it as the boots came, and no way did that Batley player get off his knees to play that ball. One of the things that the referees have been told they must clamp down on, Mr Carter totally ignores. Batley now switching play, Gration looking to offload, always turns in the tackle, nearly always manages to get the ball away, but Keighley's defence now being called to task. Cass bringing on Irvine. Irvine running round the back of his supporting players. Oh, and that's Moxham going through, but well tackled there. Only 3 points the difference as Batley launch an attack on the Keighley line. They've got the numbers at this side, or they had the numbers. Fullback Wilson going round the back, using his own players as he goes. Mark Brook-Cowden brings him to a half halt in the centre of the field. Steve Hall finishes him off with the assistance of Phil Stevenson. Last tackle as Booth puts the ball through for the chase, and John Walker having to launch that ball outside the field to avoid the chase from the Batley players. A little bit of pressure there from Batley and a little bit of panic, I think, at one stage in the Keighley defence.
Certainly was, John. Yeah, we looked at 6s and 7s there. The defence running around, supporting each other, but not really getting in a flat line. So we'll have to sort this out.
So then Keighley, they've got the drop out from underneath their own post, and certainly since that second minute, second half try. We've had another 11, nearly 12 minutes, and a lot of that time has been seen Batley with the possession. Keighley certainly need another score to settle themselves down and get that cushion just a little bit more acceptable. Gratian driving up the hill again, are being allowed to offload in the tackle. Gary Thornton in the middle of the field, the wingman coming over to the centre. Eventually gets up, pushes Ramshaw down, and that's got to be a penalty against the wingman. Rather a foolish move there by Thornton, Darrell. By Gary Thornton.
Nice dive by Jason.
Kevin Marr then from the tap. Keighley opting not to have put that ball into touch as Ramshaw finds Hall again taken round the neck. Referee says no. Ayres onto Wood, run round with Ayres, back onto Gately. Gately offloads there to Ayres. Nice ball out then to Carlton Farrell. Johnny Walker, I think, calling for the ball to be pushed downfield for the chase. Andy Ayres running out of people to go to, and in fact tackled to the ground by the standoff. And there goes the boot of Ramshaw applied to the ball, and that ball's not going to go dead, it's not going to go into touch. Referee happy that there was no mistake made there by the fullback. Wayne Race equally happy that the fullback making no further progress upfield with that tackle. Dyson then taking play infield for Batley. Tackled some 30 metres from his own line. I think probably Wayne Race still struggling with a bit of an injury problem, as indeed is Nick Pinkney. Standoff through the hole there. In fact, that ball being knocked on but being regathered again by Keighley on the halfway line as Kevin Marr comes through. Martin Wood on the hands to Nick Pinkney. Pinkney ducking through, the strength of the man almost taking him away, but the shoulder, certainly the look on the shot on the face of Nick Pinkney indicating that he's in a lot of pain with that shoulder, and I feel sure that Keighley's other speed man is going to have to take the rest of the game out on the bench. Joe Burry, the other substitute for Keighley, will no doubt be coming back on, but a lot of trouble there as far as Nick Pinkney's concerned. Meanwhile, it's Ramshaw switching play to Ayres. Ayres finds Wayne Race. Wayne Race hanging to that ball underneath, carrying it low. He was out short of support with Pinkney not being there to create the extra man. And there's an attempted drop by Jason Ramshaw through the middle. I think possibly Jeff Gratian complaining to the referee that maybe a Batley hand got near it, but I certainly didn't really see one near, and that's really what Keighley needed, was that extra point there, Darrell.
Yeah, well, John, now the 4 points in front, and obviously now if Batley get a try, then they've got to convert, and against the wind they'll be struggling to convert it. So hopefully Keighley can build on this now and just get another point or two.
Nick Pinkney having taken back to the bench then, and certainly a debut for the new substitute Joe Burry in the first team. He's had a lot of good second team performances, worthy of the chance. He's been given the opportunity this afternoon, and now it's all down to him to see what to justify his position. Ramshaw going on his own from acting halfback. And it's Martin Wood looking for the support inside. Look to offload. And Ian Gately now. Another rampaging run from the big number 8, taking the defence on in the Batley half of the field. Ramshaw onto Ayres. Ayres finds Wood. Wood looks for half the hole. He struggles almost through it, but the last tackle once more. 25 metres out. Onto Andy Ayres. Ayres onto Ramshaw. Ramshaw turns to go through the hole. Finds the ball to Ayres, but definitely forward. No question about that at all. Moving across the field, through the hands there, nice hands across the far side, but the ball going to ground. Jason Ramshaw ever awake to the situation, drops on that ball, and certainly another injury there. It looks as though it's Steve Hall carrying one on this side. holding the shoulder. Keighley certainly can't afford another serious injury as Andy Ayres now looks to skip through the centre of the park. And at this side of the field, Darren Child looking to be a substitute for Batley, bringing off the loose forward Mike Cameron. Ramshaw feeds Burry. Burry steps inside. On almost through the gap there was Joe Burry. A good break by the substitute forward, trying to get to his feet as Martin Wood feeds the ball on to Kevin Marr. Kevin Marr's in. A lovely ball there out by Martin Wood to Kevin Marr for a tremendous bust through the middle by that lad Joe Burry.
Yeah, John, like we said before, the man bust through. He got Batley back pedalling, a quick play of the ball out wide. Batley still out settled. In goes Kevin Marr, good try.
A try which really should settle Keighley now. They've absorbed some tremendous pressure from Batley in the first half of the second half of play, if you see what I mean. They've come back, they've replied with a drop goal from Jason Ramshaw, and that splendid try there from Kevin Marr. Well, we certainly said at the start of the second half that patience was what was required by Keighley, and certainly they've had to be patient for these points to start to come on the board. John Walker now looking to convert that Kevin Marr try. The crowd tell us the story, the touch judges confirm it, and that gives Keighley a 10-point cushion now and the opportunity to launch another attack down into the Batley half of the field when they receive the ball from the kick-off. Again, Martin Wood well underneath that ball. Good chase by Batley. And again, Batley doing the work on the defence there. The ball pinched by the substitute Darren Child. He shakes his head. Well, the ball certainly popped up in the air there for sure.
A bit of a harsh decision, but you live with him.
Ramshaw then just inside his own half of the field, brings on Burry. Collision of the two Keighley players there. Stevie Hall drives the ball in this time, settling things down in the centre of the field, but being carried back parallel to the ground, and it's Keighley. There's one thing for sure, they won't carry that guy back parallel to the ground. 10 metres inside the Batley half of the field. Play switch onto Martin Wood. A little step to the left, but the Batley defence aware of it. Referee calling play back. Jeff Gratian never made it. And in fact, Joe Burry getting a reception committee welcome there from the Batley defence. 20 metres inside their half of the field. And a penalty against Batley, and another 10 yards for the talking of Graham Middleton. In fact, is the referee going into his pocket? He's gone into his back pocket. I don't think he's going to do anything, but he's certainly telling him Dan Lew's referee in the game.
Certainly is, John. Yeah, it's, by giving him another 10, Keighley should go for goal here, in my opinion. Call Johnny Walker over, go for goal, settle the game down, waste a bit of time. 10 points in front. If we kick it, 12 points, all to the good. That's what we need.
The touch judges then being called behind the posts as John Walker called up to attempt the conversion, and a further substitution looking to be made, I think, by Batley. The Richard Brook. Just on this touchline side, warming up. There's John Walker. Well, I don't know whether nowhere where he's thrown that up from. It could be a blade of grass to test the wing strength. It must have been a lump of sand. Kicking towards the Keighley support that migrated down behind those bottom posts. Oh, and it's gone to the right hand side. It looked good to start with, but not good enough. But nonetheless, the ball's gone dead. Keighley will get possession back from this restart. 18 points to 8, the scoreline reading in Keighley's favour. 3 tries, 2 goals and 2 drop goals, making up that total of 18. Kevin Marr bending his back to get that ball, feeding off to Steve Hall as the prop forward looks to take play further towards those Batley posts. Jason Ramshaw going on his own, but Mike Booth having different ideas as he rips the skull cap, the scrum cap off. Mark Brook-Cowden busting the tackle, half busting it on that far side. 20 metres out, referee telling him to get up and play the ball as Steve Hall drives in. Offloads there to Carlton Farrell, the number 14 for Keighley, taking play within 5 or 6 yards of those posts. Ramshaw onto Ayres. Ayres finds Martin Wood, but Martin Wood, it wasn't a good ball. In fact, I don't even think it should have been for Martin, should it? It should have gone through him.
Yeah, it shouldn't have gone to Martin, should have gone behind him. Men coming up pace, Martin Wood virtually stood. You don't give a man stood like that a ball.
Batley then once more having to bring this ball up the hill. A good drive out there by Graham Middleton. And that again looked to be forward. Gratian the man in possession, and it seems to be wherever Gratian is, either passing or receiving, the ball goes forward. That one's certainly not going forward though, the line indicating the flight of the ball. Batley now searching, testing, probing, but not at the moment finding the hole in the Keighley defence. Scott gets the ball out there to Booth, but that counting back, hitting the Keighley player who, in the referee's opinion, made a play for the ball. And Gratian offloading this side to Childs. Childs gets to the halfway line, but dragged down there right on that whitewash. Gets up and plays the ball to Cass. Cass gets it out to the number 10 Parkinson, but he too tackled short of 10 metres inside the Keighley half of the field. Irvine on to Gratian. Gratian back to Irvine. Irvine looking again for a hole through, but there's no way through for the man. 10 metres still just inside the Keighley half of the field as Cass gets the ball out now to fullback Wilson. He offloads out there to Middleton, but again the Batley player dragged to the ground by Keighley. Booth switches play back into the number 12 Walton. Last tackle coming up as Walton gets up, but they've made a lot of ground on this set of 6 of Batley, and the ball going to ground there, and in fact the handover will take place, and the touch judge just been, in fact, well done touch judge. There's certainly Irvine was giving him the verbals, pointing the finger. He's going to incur a penalty now, Dal, surely.
Yeah, he should deserve at least a telling off here, John. You know, Mr. Carter should sort it out. You can't have players a verbal in a touch judge like that.
Apologises, in fact, nonetheless incurs the penalty. Kevin Marr plays the ball to himself, drives that ball in, but straight into the arms of Scott and Gratian. Stevie Hall driving in, offloads to Marr. Marr finds Wayne Race. Race goes down the touchline side, viciously taken round the head. No question about that. A vicious take round the head, Darrell, by I didn't see which Batley player it was, but I think it was Simon Wilson.
Couldn't see it properly, John. The boat jumped him in front of it. It looked a bit high, and Wayne lost the ball. But you know, the touch judge were there. He didn't give it.
Ball out then to Batley from that resultant scrum. as Irvine goes up the far side, well, brings play up the centre of the field. And a penalty awarded there to Batley for Keighley holding down in the tackle. Darren Moxham now. And again, Batley there taking the option of the tap rather than putting the ball into touch in the face of the wind that they're playing against. 18 points to 8, just short of 10 minutes in this second half remaining, or just slightly over 10 minutes on the running clock. And a good bust tackle there, but the ball going back. The referee in fact says back to 1. Now there's surely nobody touched that ball. What an appalling decision by Mr. Carter. The weight of the tackle blew the ball out of the player's hands, and he says that's back to 1. Dear me. Scott brings the ball on then. It's Middleton in possession on the halfway line. Scott once more bringing the ball out through the hands of Cass. Cass out to Bull, the full-back Wilson passing the ball straight into touch. The supporting wingman unable to take it, and the Keighley bench urging the Keighley side just to quieten things down, calm things down, and the result that they're looking for will be. Martin Wood. Jeff Butterfield wrestles to the feet. Wood switches play to Ayres. Ayres on to Mark Brooke-Cowden. The loose forward struggling his way forward. 5 metres inside the Batley half of the field as Ramshaw now on to Jeff Butterfield. Butterfield caught by one leg. And in fact the hooker hurting his shoulder there as he did the tackle, and a nice ball out there by Ramshaw. Kevin Marr doing the tackling. In fact, a knock on. I don't know what that signal means, where the referee's wiping his hands side by side. That's a new one, Darrell.
Aye, just saying he's cancelling everything else, he's just giving the knock on.
And Ian Gately just receiving treatment here on that 30-metre line, and Batley wanting also to take the opportunity of switching. In fact, they were going to bring off loose forward Cameron. They've changed their mind. It's hooker Mark Scott they're going to bring off. Richard Brook, I should say, the man going on. Darren Child all on the time for quite some time. Need a bit of speech therapy there. That scrum wheeling, but still coming out on the Batley side. Fullback Wilson in possession. He's certainly had a good game for Batley as the fullback, Darrell.
Yes, Wilson's obviously Batley's man of the match. I think Ian Gately's our man of the match for Keighley. I think the man of the match overall really is Ian Gately. I'll go for Gately.
Well, we'll see if you've got a crystal ball there, because it won't be long before that man of the match award has been announced by the press, chosen by the press in this Silk Cut Challenge Cup round 4. Batley though still not down and out. They're still looking to come forward. Gratian offloading there, and Gratian just having a go here. Gratian having a go at Gately, and there's no need for it. The referee's going to have to pull them back. There's all hell on this halfway line. The referee's not stopped play. He should stop play. The touch judge is missing, but John Stevenson's got John Walker. John Walker is a long way to go. Wilson's chasing him, but John Walker's going. He's in there, is John Walker. And really, that try came when I thought play should have been stopped, because there was all hell on the halfway line with Jeff Gratian taking tremendous exception to Ian Gately for some reason at all, and I think Jeff Gratian should walk.
Jeff Gratian went into the ball with the ball under one arm and his elbow well up, John. He tried to take Ian Gately out with an elbow under the chin. That's what started it.
And we'll wait to see what the referee's going to do, because if he does send him off, is he going to allow the try to stand? We wait and see. but they're also going to pull Ian Gately out as well. But I think there's no doubt at all, the camera, I'm confident, stayed on that right from the word go. We captured everything on the camera. It's given the try, and Mr. Gratian can walk down to the bottom end of the field, but I would much have preferred to have seen him walking this way into the tunnel. Absolutely appalling by the old man of rugby. Let's take nothing away. Well, you can see what that announcement's made. The crowd warmly appreciating the performance this afternoon by Cougars number 8, Ian Gately. The big fella's put everything in this game. Daryl rightly predicted his crystal ball having clear vision, but I don't really think you needed to have a crystal ball, did you, Daryl?
Not really, John. He's been head and shoulders above everybody today.
Oh, and what a conversion there to John Walker. I was about to say, let's not take anything away from the fact that Johnny Walker went the full length of the field for that try. Absolutely brilliant try from his own 10-metre line. And you can hear what the crowd think about Jeff Gratian. And I think really that conversion on John's try, taking the points 24-8 in favour of Keighley, fairly certain to see them safely through into the draw tomorrow evening. And Gately taking that round the knees. And the second, wanting to have a second dip there, was the Batley prop. Ramshaw on to Bury, Bury settling though and taking the tackle. And a good kick there by Jason Ramshaw, good thinking, pushing Batley all the way back down there towards their own try line. In fact, that ball going dead, accelerating rather quickly when it hit that try line. Cass plays the ball. We just got round about 3 minutes of actual time left on the clock. Martin Wood tackling Childs well there. And Cass gets the ball back on again, but another good tackle there, this time coming from Joe Bury. As Cass on to Gratian, Gratian bringing the ball in, offloads in possession. Steve Hall in this time doing the tackling, and a knock on there by Batley just short of the halfway line. Just summing up the last 20 minutes of this second half that they've had. In fact, really, they haven't respected the possession too well at all, haven't Batley, have they, Darryl?
No, they spilled it like they did in the first half, John. They try to play at 500 mile an hour. I think the brains are going faster than the hands.
And the air's almost through the gap there, not able quite to get away from the attention there of standoff Mike Booth. We've not had the crowd announced yet. In fact, 2,409 just told, as Ramshaw takes that ball in 25 metres out from those Batley posts. 24-8 the scoreline reading Keighley's favour. Kevin Mard offloading back there to Steve Hall. Steve Hall takes it straight back through the centre of those players. 10 metres from the Batley line. Ramshaw acting half back. Has the ball stolen from him as Steve Hall by Mike Booth. And even more discipline going away from this Batley side. Kevin Marr taking that ball well. He was supposed to be taking the drive, but the ball bouncing off his chest. Batley regather, reform themselves as they come back up this slope, still inside their own 20-metre area. Carlton Farrell hustling the guy there, and Ian Gately, Martin Wood completing the tackle. Tremendous performance this afternoon by Keighley. We saw them open their scoring account through that tremendous try by Wayne Race, followed by the bust through the centre of Ian Gately. Then we saw Kevin Marr score a try, and that last try in the bottom corner to Johnny Walker, and a tremendous forward pass then from Gratian again as Batley break through, but Steve Hall doing well there to release the man he'd initially tackled and finishing off the tackle on the man who received the ball. It's the handover 10 metres inside the Batley half as Ayres gets the ball across to Martin Wood. Wood runs round with Ramshaw but gets caught up in the centre of the field. We've also seen a couple of drop goals from Ramshaw and those three 2-pointers from Johnny Walker. That completes the scoreline for Keighley. There 24 points coming in that manner. The Batley try coming from Simon Wilson and a couple of goals from the number 5 Jeremy Dyson, making up their 8 points. 24 points to 8 the scoreline reads, and as Keighley takes play back into that Batley 20-metre area. We're on 40 minutes now. We're playing stoppage time such as there is that the timekeepers will have, and again it's Ramshaw looking for his hat-trick, and it goes in off the post albeit, but that's a hat-trick of drop goals for Jason Ramshaw, and really that's adding insult to injury to the Batley side, Dal.
Yeah, John, it was really. We know Keith let it do, just hold it and go for the try and hold it and then turn over at last tackle.
Wilson gets play back underway again. Martin Wood pumps that ball straight back down the field. It's down for the chase, and Steve Hall's leading this chase. Steve Hall's leading it. He kicks it forward. He picks it up and he scores! Oh boy, what a try for the big number 10! I don't think he can believe it. Certainly Batley can't believe it. What a chase there by that guy. Peter Hall said to him a couple of weeks ago, Darrell, you prove to me that you're an 80-minute man, and what does he do? He scores a try in the 81st.
Excellent running that. Sheer determination there. He realised Batley hadn't gone back to cover the ball. And off he went after it, like after a dog after a hare, I'll get the words out in a minute. Excellent try was that. Beautiful.
He's coming back up this slope like an old steam engine, but my words, that steam engine broke the steam record going down that hill. Tremendous try there by Steve Hall, and they're warmly appreciated by the crowd as well. Well, we're into stoppage time now. I think in fact, we've still not got a ball down there. I think the ball boys for Batley have taken the balls back into the changing rooms, and there's only the ball that they were playing with available. Gratian already taking the strapping off his hands. He knows the time's up, and certainly the time's up as far as Batley are concerned. 33 points to 8 the scoreline now, as John Walker looks to add the points to the wonderful Steve Hall try. Well, there's no way that's going near. It's the end of the game. Tremendous game as far as Keighley are concerned. They're in the draw tomorrow morning. We see where we go from here.